All right, what's up? What's up, people? Going live, going live. How are you doing? Welcome, 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 welcome. Let's get started. Let's get started. I'm so excited to be back doing the rant. Last week I couldn't do the rant because I had an event and I couldn't. There was just no time. I absolutely just didn't have any time. But I'm happy to be back. I'm happy to be back here to do the rants with you guys. Sorry, I have my screen in front of me instead of on the side, just killing my back so I can still look at you guys directly while I do my rant. So this is a watch along. This is a blind reaction. I'm so excited that I'm doing this one. Some of you guys already know this channel is called Cruise. There's a channel on YouTube, and they do some wonderful work in terms of conversation, debate, and that's something I'm edging towards. I'm working on it actively to get to that level where I could have open conversations with different people everywhere. So welcome, welcome. I'm just while we're waiting for more people to join in, let me just share my screen right here to show you guys. So if you guys don't know, this is my page, this is my YouTube page, and this is a show we did way back in 2022, I believe 2022, and it's been long overdue to do another one. I think 22 or 23, I think 2023. It's called Rant and Mingle. It's a Balade's rant event production, and please guys go check it out. I have a bunch of videos from that time. Let me go back, let me play.
30 seconds.
Listen
Look,
to this
all
guy.
these standards these women have, if he's 6'6", has a big dick, he can have $0 in his account and they're entertained that man. But here's the second question.
So the gentleman said, there's some things that women look for regardless of money. That was a conversation we had. So guys, please, if you are looking for good content, good conversation, please come to my page. It's Bolade Ola Ojo. Just want to show you guys real quick. Bolade Ola Ojo on YouTube. Just type this, Bolade Ola Ojo, and you should pop up. You should see this picture. And I have some wonderful content. All my lives are here. This particular video, this one did was like 14,000 views. And then I had some 11,000, some 4,000. So I have some very good content that people have enjoyed. So please come check them out. Come check my videos out. And if you want, while you're there, please subscribe to my channel, and help me get my uh my get me from the because I have 2,000 followers now, right, on Instagram. Oh, sorry, on YouTube, 2,000 plus followers or subscribers, which it's a miracle on its own, and I appreciate every one of you that have subscribed. But if you've not subscribed, please go subscribe. But the most important thing I need right now is the watch time hours. So I want to encourage you guys, please do me a favor, do me a solid, go to my page, play any one of my videos, especially the long ones, and just leave it playing. Please just play it and just leave it playing. Let me get my watch hours, please, in the mighty name. This year I must be monetized. So, and I'm working towards it to get monetized. All right, so let's get into it. The video I actually want to share with you guys is this one. I'm going to share my this one. So this is Cruise. This is a channel called Cruise, and they do debates. They do a bunch of debates. I've watched a whole lot of debates from this people, and it's very good content. Like the arguments are valid, like on both sides, you know. And so I came across this particular debate here, this one that talked about divorce. So the title here says, "Should marriage be a life sentence?" And you have six people in the room that are discussing the topic of marriage and divorce from their different perspectives, and it's quite interesting to hear some of the thoughts that some of the people and the people that have the thoughts in this conversation. You'll be very, very shocked and very, very surprised. The only reason why I'm saying this, because usually it's a blind reaction, and if you notice I didn't title this as a blind reaction. I have seen this before, so it's not a blind reaction. I've seen this before, but I still feel like I'm going to get some I'm still going to get some moments and what moments in this video. So guys, do me a favor, if you're watching right now on Instagram, do me a favor. I just want to know how many people I have on. Just give this video a like real quick. Just give this video a like so that we get as many people as we can on. And I know how many people I have that are watching right now. So on YouTube, I see a few people on YouTube watching. Thank you so much for coming as well. Those of you on YouTube, thank you for joining in. And if you're watching, please, just say something. Just say hi, what's up, or just say something, so I know you're here with me. And I cannot wait to start the video for all of us to watch together. Okay. So I usually monitor the show on my phone, so I'm watching it on my phone right now. Okay. So I see how some of you are giving the video a like. So let me just type in right quick here. All right. So for those of you watching on Instagram, there is a possibility that Instagram would end in an hour. There is a possibility that will happen. If that should happen, please join me on someone says life coach. I wish. Please join me on YouTube for the full experience. So Boladeola Ojo on YouTube. Should in case you don't, the video ends or whatever, and the video and the live is still going on, join me on YouTube for the full experience. All right, let's get started. All right. So, oh, by the way, you might see some ads because I'm not using YouTube Premium. So if ads come, just bear them. I'll mute myself so that the audio doesn't play, and I'll mute it back. All right, let's go.
A friend of mine was hit starved to death just because of beans. That the beans was not soft enough for a man to eat.
Jesus.
I've experienced coma, go 3 times. I'm telling you my life history.
You saw those signs. What happened? You were in love. You just ignored the signs. Continue ignoring the signs now.
There is no marriage without fights. Let us not deceive ourselves. This is a man that I know that, oh yes, he hates me, but yet he loves me.
If your husband sexually abused your child and you find out it's true, what are you going to do?
The man will definitely be reported.
Yeah.
But that does not feel mean that I will divorce my husband. I want you to get that fact.
All right, good intro, good start.
Please signify if you agree with the prompt. Divorce is the only way out of an abusive marriage.
Actors, we can make you believe we know what we're doing, when in fact, we do not.
I can't stand abusive marriage anymore. I've experienced coma, go 3 times.
Yeah.
I will advise, separate, say like 2, 3 years, 4 years, and see if the both partner will adjust. If it does not work, go for divorce. Let everybody say, calm down. Then let's see who is the devil and who was the angel.
I don't believe that divorce is really way to save a marriage personally, yeah. But if someone can abuse you in a relationship, if someone can lift their hand up to hit you, why are you married to that person? What are you doing there?
Can the disagreeers now speak?
Okay, divorce is not the only way out.
Okay.
Think back. It has not always been beating.
All right. Let me go around the room real quick. For those of you watching on Instagram, watching on YouTube, tell me real quick. Divorce is the only way to save a marriage. Oh, no, sorry. Let me read the question. The actual question says, divorce is the only way out of an abusive marriage. Yay or nay? Tell me in the comment section. Divorce is the only way out of an abusive relationship. Tell me yay or nay. Divorce is the only way out of an abusive relationship. And forgive me, guys, I'm looking down. I'm supposed to be looking up. Forgive me. I'm going to try to practice that better. So is divorce the only, just tell me yes or no. Divorce is the only way out of an abusive marriage. Yes or no? Do you agree with that statement or do you disagree? Okay, so let me, while you guys are responding, I'm going to keep playing the video. Okay.
now. There were real good times. Think back about that good times. Think back on how you started. You would definitely find a loophole somewhere. I hate beating, but no one is a saint. You will not die inside that marriage.
Amen.
Go away. Stay separate.
The only reason I'm on this side is because of the word only. Divorce is not the only way, actually. Even legally, there's something called judicial separation, which means that you are legally allowed to stop cohabiting with this person for the reasons that you would ordinarily divorce that person. Because even when you go to the courts, the first thing they ask you as a legal practitioner is, have you advised the client on reconciliation? If there is any chance that the parties will reconcile, the court would stop that proceeding to tell you, go and reconcile. So divorce is not aimed at actually separating people. The whole concept of divorce happens when the marriage has broken down irretrievably. Simple. At the same time, there should also be attempts to protect the party being abused. There are laws that protect people. The Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act. Lagos State has adopted the domestic violence law as well that can give you protective orders while you're separate from this person. And in this moment, it is left for that person to now prove that he is no longer a threat. Also, there's been so much focus on physical abuse. Abuse can be psychological, it can be sexual, it can be financial. It's not just the physical abuse. The courts in one of the cases said a dropping water melts away the stone. It might be minor acts, which in themselves, they do not amount to reasons to divorce, but when you accumulate them, it amounts to reasons to divorce. Even the courts recognize that.
Okay.
My name is Fisayo. I'm 28. I'm a legal practitioner. I'm married and a year and 3 months now. I'm pro-divorce because I don't think divorce is a problem. I think divorce is rather a solution to a problem.
I'm just going to start with this. I'm not a therapist. I'm not a psychologist, but I can't prefer a solution as to what anyone should do. I'm still quite young, but I'm going to say that at the end of the day, we've convinced ourselves that divorce is the cure-all answer to it. And it's really wild because based on the data, the people who have divorced, right, and gone into second and third marriages have way less chances of it succeeding. It's 67 for second marriages and 73 for third marriages. Even when we're not talking about abuse, people just think it's normal. People just think, it's degeneracy to society. The analogy I love to use is, imagine society like a body, like a human body, right? And the family is the cells of that society. When you begin to break it off one by one, it causes, you don't know the effects. So saying divorce is just a cure-all excuse and normalizing it is like saying we shouldn't drink liquid because we have the chance of choking. It doesn't make sense.
What happened to dialogues? What happened to having a conversation? Because before the two of you got married, you courted, you saw those signs. What happened? You were in love, you just ignored the signs. Continue ignoring the signs now. Why did you have to? No, hold on.
He said you saw the signs. It's like Ruga. I went to Ruga's concert with this weekend. And Ruga has a song. You saw the red flags, baby. But you ignored the red flags. Now you are here. And you better end this now. So bottom line of that song is that it's saying, well, it's not as if this is new. You already saw it happening. You saw it, but you were in love. You were butterflies everywhere. And now it's happened. You're now crying. No, you saw it back then. If you could see it back then and you're okay with it, be okay with it now. Let everybody hold their day. That's what this guy is saying. Divorce is not an option. If you saw the issues when you guys were courting, when you guys were talking, dating stage, relationship stage, whatever stages you were, you saw the red flags and you did not run. You went to marriage counseling, you did all that stuff, but you did not run. Then continue to ignore it and just stay ignoring it, because that's what this gentleman is saying. And what are your thoughts, guys? Do you think that is fair? to say. And by the way, if you're watching, please just let me know you're watching. Hit a like. And this is a debate on divorce. The question is, should marriage be a life sentence? The question they're asking right now is divorce the only way out of an abusive relationship? And just to put something into context as well, abusive relationship doesn't mean just physical. It could be emotional, like that gentleman said, emotional, financial, spiritual, sexual. It could be in many ways. There are many ways that abuse can happen. So if any one of those type of abuse should happen, or a accumulation of all those type of abuses should happen, do you think it's okay for the partner, for either one of the couple, to exit, to divorce, to file for divorce? And here's the thing: divorce is not respective of person or age or time or how many years you guys have been together. I've seen marriages. We've seen high profile marriages that end up in divorce after 40 something years, and you're thinking, if you could stay 40 something years with this guy or this woman, what's the point of divorce? You're about to go to heaven anyways. Why are you divorcing now? Like, I don't understand. In some of those cases, it's possible that those people are already separated, but they're not legally divorced, right? So they are probably not living together anymore. They are doing things separately, and just maybe working out the kinks of divorce. And maybe financially, either one of them just saw that, okay, it's probably better to go for a divorce than to keep this separation going. So sometimes those people you see that divorce after so many years, they've probably been separated for a couple of years as well before they ended up divorcing. By the end of the day, it's still shocking, right? And the challenge I've seen is 5 years into a marriage, most wedding marriages divorce. So you begin to wonder, okay, is it even good to go and marry safe? Because statistics show that 5 years into it, most people divorce. And we're going to talk about why people divorce in a second. But let's keep going with the video.
So, except you didn't see the sign, and nobody can say they did not see even the slightest bit of signs that this person could be abusive. I have been there. I have been abused. What did I do? I called my partner. What's going on? What's happening? Why is this thing happening? We had the conversation. You can't just say, oh, divorce is going to solve the issue just like that. It doesn't. Okay, you get divorced, and then what?
A friend of mine was stabbed to death just because of beans. That the beans was not soft enough for a man to eat.
Jesus Christ. She said her friend was stabbed to death because of beans, because the beans was not soft enough. What kind of abusive relationship is that? Beans stab someone to death? Jesus. She's definitely pro-divorce.
The argument started. Okay, let me go and cook it more. He said, why is it taking so long? Just for the woman to say, it beans, you allow it to solve, and he said it's too strong. Bah! Started punching the woman. She retaliated to save her life. The next thing the man did, he picked a bottle beside him. A pregnant woman with 3 months child in her womb. Before she rushed to the hospital, she passed away.
3 months baby was in her womb too? Oh my goodness. What kind of anger? What kind of anger can come over someone that bad that you would, in the heat of an argument, you would stab somebody? Like, that is a bit extreme, no? What kind of vexing are you vexing? Because that just sounded a lot. But okay, let's keep going.
And my name is Elizabeth Udo. I'm 54 years old. I'm a divorcee of 11 years now. Hitting every time. Little thing a man will provoke, little thing I will provoke. People say marriage is adorable. It's not enduring. As long as there is no hitting, no abuses, both from the husband or from the wife.
I feel like the topic they've been using is too subtle for you guys. So you have it, child.
Yes, I do. Male.
You have children, sorry. Male or female?
Male, female.
Beautiful. Okay, so like, we've been talking about physical abuse since. Let's say, for instance, now, your husband sexually abused your daughter.
Ha.
Are you going to
God
stay with him?
forbid.
God forbid. Yeah. But it happens. These are things that happen. Will you stay with him?
Hold on. Okay, yes, that's a good question for you guys. If your partner sexually abuses your child, or whether it's your child with the person or your child, just your child, regardless of the father or the parent, your child, and the person, the spouse, your spouse, sexually abused that child, what are you going to do? Please tell me in the comment section. And do me a favor, guys. I'm going to pause for a second. Do me a favor, guys. I need more people to join the conversation. So please do me a favor. Just hit that share button and share it to as many people as you possibly can. Please just hit that share button and just send this to as many people as you possibly can. It will be a world of favor for me if you guys can do that. Please just share this video with as many people as on your contact list. Just send them. Just ask them to come join the conversation. Let them know that I'm live. We're talking about divorce. If you know someone that is, this is a conversation that they might be interested in, please send it to them. And it will be it'll be wonderful to have them come share their thoughts on a live show. Okay, so I'm just sending it to as many people as I possibly can. What I'm doing, I'm going to also put this
Him after.
First and foremost, let me tell you the truth. I would definitely want to find out that thing. But
No, if your daughter come and meet you, start asking her, is it true or not? If your husband sexually abused your child or your wife sexually abused your child, and you find out it's true, what are you going to do?
You know the beautiful thing about that question? I'm going to consider priorities. If I leave my spouse, all right, what consequence do you think will be greater? Leaving that marriage is not going to reverse the emotional trauma.
Wait, what? Did he just say he's going to consider priorities? Isn't that the only priority at this point? Given the context of the question, your child got sexually abused by your spouse. That is number one priority. I don't think there's anything else that it should be considered. I mean, am I mistaken here? Guys, do me a favor. Put your thoughts in the comment section. Don't be shy. Let me read some of your comments, please. All right, let's see. Okay.
If I'm a mother and I didn't have any education whatsoever, I don't have a 9-to-5 job, I don't make any form of money at all, and I know I need that for financial assistance, I'm going to say, look, I'm prioritizing my daughter's or my son's future ahead of this abuse. This abuse, it already happened. It's a bad thing, right?
Well,
it already happened,
divorce,
but I'm prioritizing that future.
There are countries that if you divorce, there will be financial compensation. So if you know you're going to get financial compensation, if you know you're going to get financial compensation from divorce, are you going to do it?
You never know. You shouldn't get divorced due to situations like that. Who is going to help the man? Like, the man needs help. Obviously, you cannot.
That he needs.
Assuming that's your husband.
You're sexually assaulting my child, and you're telling me I should be responsible for him.
Yes, you.
Bro, what? The man should be in jail.
What are these guys saying? I don't understand. Your spouse sexually assaulted your child. Now you should be responsible for him to help him get help. Is everything okay? I don't know. Is it me or are you guys hearing what I'm hearing? And the other one was saying financial obligation. So you should stay there in the relationship, or you should stay in the marriage and prioritize the children's future with this abuser. Is that what you're telling me? Because this abuser is providing some financial assistance, or is the father he's working and you're not working as a mother, or the spouse, the other spouse. I'm beginning, like, I'm not understanding. And this is, by the way, these folks here are from Nigeria, so maybe there's some context there to why some of them think this way. But even still, I'm Nigerian myself, but that is shocking me. But let me continue, Sha.
You should be responsible for has it been like that? Did you know that he has
After he
been like
assaults
that?
my daughter, I started interrogating him. Have you been like this? Is this your first time?
Seriously, putting him in jail, how does that?
I'll be at peace knowing that whoever assaulted my daughter.
Are you sure you'll be at peace, or you're just imagining that?
Let me address a lot of issues that have.
Did you hear that question? Are you sure you'll be at peace for for putting the the person that sexually abused your daughter in jail? Absolutely. With joy and glee in my heart. Let me keep playing.
Actually been raised here, most of which border on criminal allegations.
As in,
if a man rapes a minor, that's a very grievous crime, regardless of whether he's the father or not. The right steps that should be taken, because you're saying the emotional abuse has happened, you're right. But that daughter will grow up knowing that the mother condoned it.
Right.
That's a greater emotional
That's even
abuse.
worse.
So the best thing the mother can do at that point is to do everything to protect the child, which includes making sure that the father, if you're not going to at least report the father, you take the child away from that environment. But you can also, like I said, if you divorce this man, you have a legal claim to financial support that it would be binding on him. So you saying if you leave, it would, that doesn't happen.
It's not always like that.
It is
It's not always like
it
that.
depends. And like I said, once you're able to prove certain things in courts, and when you're talking about if the man is not
we talk a lot about corruption.
Hold on.
Please allow him
The
to talk.
man is not even, for some reason, convicted of that crime, because obviously the burden of proof is really high in cases like that. You have recourse to so many, like I said, the law is there to protect. A lot of times we just don't test the law in the courts simply because we have this ideology that, it doesn't work. It works, it just takes time.
But
Honestly.
that does not mean that they are divorced.
Yeah.
Yes, he asked me that question and it shocked me. I want to be sincere. He has answered. He has said exactly what I wanted to say. Separating that child from the father is the most important thing at that moment. Okay. So, but that does not mean that you are divorcing your husband.
If this type of incident really happen, and you find out it is true, would you still marry that man?
I will still be with my husband, but
God forbid.
Listen, I will still be with my husband.
A man that will sleep with me and sleep with my daughter.
See, if I am the child, I'll arrest you and my father.
A man that God wedded to. If I'm a lawyer, I would sentence him to death. What were you even thinking of? Oh God.
Yes, I will still be with my husband. But let me stand very well and talk. See, you know that time the man is already separated from me. That does not mean I'm divorced from my husband. But that time, my own mind too is not even at peace with him. Because that is a devilish act. Law can decide to take me to jail or whatever.
So I'm trying to understand something. What is it about being married in Nigeria or in African countries or in African culture that it almost seems like it's impossible to admit or to even think of divorce? What is it about, like being married? It's almost like if you're not married, it's even greater, or there's a greater stigma than some type of abuse in the relationship. It almost seems like it almost seems like some women or some people especially in the African countries, would rather, condone the abuse, condone the assault on themselves and their children than to be divorced. Even though, like you heard this woman say, she's already separated in her head from the man. So why don't you just separate from him physically? Like what is the difference? Like, why is it such a big deal to say I'm still married or I am married? Or why is it such a taboo to go through divorce especially in the African culture, in the African homes? Case in point here, these people are Nigerians. So I'm just, what is it? and guys, please share your thoughts with me. Let me know what you think in the comment section, because I'm listening to this woman talk. She agrees that yes, it's a extreme case. She's already going to separate the child from the father, given that the father, did what he did, essayed the child. So now she then said something that shocked me. She said it doesn't mean I'm going to divorce him, and even though I'm separated from him in my head, I'm thinking, what is Kiloku? What is left? Like, I don't understand. Why must you be married to the guy? I'm not understanding. Guys, please share your thoughts in the comment section, please. Someone says we need to slap him and send him into gulag. What nonsense is he saying out of his mouth? Thank you, African Calypso. Someone says the family will shame you when you get a divorce. They rather you suffer it in silence than get divorced. Really? Has anybody experienced or knows people that have experienced such what was shame, where it's such a big deal to get divorced? Do you know of stories? And if you do, please share it with me in the comment section, as concise as you can be, because it's really shocking. All right, let me continue the video.
If you report him.
Yeah, that's if there's a report made.
Yes. No, there will definitely be a report.
Oh, that is going to change.
No. This is
Yeah,
just speak
there
the fact.
should.
The man will definitely be reported. But that does not feel mean that I will divorce my husband. I want you to get that fact. I will definitely stay away from him for the period where he's going to receive his punishment.
If you actually are okay with that person doing that thing and you still want to be with that person, the law doesn't have an issue with that. What I appreciate that she said was that she would take steps to ensure that the man is brought to book for whatever crime he has committed, and the child is protected.
Let me tell you guys a very short story, and I'll be very quick with this one. So I did hear of this is something that someone I know went through, and it wasn't the father. It was a significant figure from church, popular church, fire breathing church, all of that good stuff, and yeah, it was, and these people were very committed. I'm talking like the family were very committed into the church. The young lady started working in the church in close proximity to the pastor's office. She's a beautiful lady. She carries everything front and back, all of that. And I know her, so I know the person, so I know what I'm talking about. And the pastor, essayed her, given that, I'm hoping YouTube or Instagram doesn't shut me down. But yes, the pastor sexually assaulted this person, and it was a big deal because she did not condone it. She immediately left the space and told one of her parents. When she told one of her parents, she told her mom. Let me just be frank. She told her mom. Now, the mom, the reason why I'm bringing up this story, the context here is that the mom is a very fervent goer, of the church, fervent, prayer warrior in the church, everything. But when the daughter told the mom that this happened, the bottom line was not enough for me, because the mom still kept on going to the church. Even after this happened, after the daughter claimed that this happened, the pastor they reported the pastor, to the elders or to whatever, board of trustees. And the pastor was sent on a retreat of forgiveness for him to go get forgiveness, because he's a man, and nobody's beyond sin. But it was kept quiet within the church. It was held under wraps. It was the senior leadership of the church that handled it. They sent him away on a retreat to go for cleansing and whatever, get forgiveness from God and, get help, so to speak. The wife of the pastor did not divorce him, and this is, in many respects, the kids or the teenagers or the young adults that go to your church, they are essentially your kids, right? Spiritual kids or whatever. They all look up to you as a parent. Some of us back then, when we're growing up and very fervent in church, we saw our pastor and our pastor's wives as our parents. If we spent 60% of our day, of our life in school, we spend maybe 30 of the rest of it in church and then 10% with our family. So this was significant enough that it could be warranted as a father essaying his daughter, but nothing was done. Like for me, or at least from what I know, nothing was done. The pastor still pastors the church. He went on a retreat for forgiveness. The wife of the pastors remained. Apparently, though, this is not a unique case. It's happened, and there are cases, and he needs help. So they decided to help him. Now, I'm not judging the man. I just feel like the bottom line was not enough for me, and I bring that up because of what that woman was saying. You see, I feel like there seems to be there just seems to be too much emphasis on like some fake loyalty to someone. Like I just feel like I feel like this whole divorce thing or this whole marriage thing sometimes okay, let me put it this way. If you don't feel like sexual assault of your child is grounds enough for you to exit out of a relationship, right? Then okay, cool. No problem. That's you. But I believe that knowing what you know, that this person that I'm living with is essentially a sexual predator. This person can potentially pass for a sexual offender that they will go and register his name. He can pass for that. And you are okay with that person. Now, it's a mistake. It's a mistake. It's an error, whatever. Okay. But if it's something, I mean, I can't even say it's a mistake. Because if it's your daughter, or it's not a mistake. It's an evil spirit that is. Personally, I'm gone. But that relationship is done. Like it's done. So for me, with that pastor and with that whole situation, it just emphasizes something. There seems to be more like loyalty. Like there's this thing, especially in the African culture. That's why those people, Africans, most of the time, I always see this, and I'm always very like vexed and sad. They're very gullible to a lot of things. I'm telling you, like especially those pastors, and I'm digressing here, but especially those pastors and stuff, they do and undo. And because of the loyalty these people have given them, even so much so that some of them know that this person is bad or this person is doing bad things to people that they consider as family or close, they still stay with the person, still loyal to that person. That is a problem. That is a mental issue, honestly. And if you are if there's somebody like that, you are as bad as the person that essayed people. That's my opinion. So in the case of the pastor, I would have loved for him to have been kicked out of the church. Forgiveness retreat or not, kick him out of the church or demote him from leadership, because as a leader, there are consequences to what you've done, especially when it comes to your congregation, especially the young ones. You're essaying a young girl in your church and you are there. Like, come on now. And the wife stayed. The mother of the girl that was essayed stayed in the church. And this man will say, raise up holy hands in church, and all of them, knowing that this nigga has done, and again, it wasn't just her, there were stories, right? Has done all these things. And don't get me wrong, there is forgiveness in the blood of Jesus. There is transformation and all that stuff. However, there should also be consequences. Anyways, let me proceed. I just feel like sometimes it's just manic, like when I hear the stories. So listen to this lawyer. I'm going to...
Under, I think it's section 15(2)(c) of the matrimonial clauses, or 2B, it talks about adultery. And it says, where the respondent has persistently and willfully committed adultery, and the petitioner finds it intolerable to live with that person. If you've condoned an act and the man doesn't do it again, you cannot divorce on that once it is proven that you condoned it.
If Christ died for me and cleansed all my sins, and I've been taught that forgiveness should be the key in everything. Assuming such a thing happens to me, I'll go gaga. I'll feel like tearing him apart with my hands. I am not going to divorce my husband. I will watch and see that he suffers very well and get to realize evil he has done. And my parents taught me that divorce is not an option in marriage. For better, we die here.
We would appreciate if you subscribe.
So I'm gonna let their video play because I want you guys to also subscribe to them. So is marriage kind of like a, because the way she spoke right now just feels like, you know, we can blame her parents for her mindset, because I'm pro divorce. If you have reasons for divorce, like in this case, adult, like the guy was explaining adultery, that you can no longer condone, because I don't believe cheating or adultery is a I don't think it's about that the person doesn't love you anymore. Let's assume you're with someone, the both of you love each other, you got married, you go into a relationship, and then maybe 3 years into the marriage or into the relationship, whatever, the person cheats on you, right? I personally don't believe, and this is my philosophy, you guys might not agree with it, but I don't personally believe that you should end the relationship or divorce the person for such. Now, this is my belief, right? Because it is not about it's the act of cheating, right? It's not about, sometimes, especially for men, I'm just being honest, it's not about that the person doesn't love you. It's just that the person is indisciplined in the love they have for you. So the indiscipline, two things can be true. They love you, but they're not as strong or disciplined enough to stay, just with you. And this is something that might take time. It's not like a switch that can be turned on and off. It's a choice, it's a decision, it's tough. Some people go through it and fail. Some people go through it and pass and can continue. So in that kind of situation, you evaluate the situation. Okay, has this guy cheated on me more than once or whatever? Can I condone it? Is it a cheating? And there are different types of cheating. Maybe we'll talk about this on the rant. Is it a cheating of that, of the heart, or just, cheating where you just physical cheating, there's no emotion or whatever? Because women will tell you the emotional cheating is the problem. I actually talked to one girl one time, and this was on my rant one time. She said something. She said that if the guy she's dating, she finds out that he's cheated on her, like let's say he slept with like 5 different girls, and it was maybe on a trip or like a one-time thing, or she would not exit the relationship. She would be pissed. She would demand a lot of changes, but she would not exit the relationship, because the worst cheating is if there is one girl. This is not 5 girls now. There's just one girl that is, for some weird reason, her husband or her boyfriend is emotionally attached to and cheating with. So he slept with 5 girls. It was a one-time thing, maybe on a boys' trip or something. She finds out, she'll be pissed, boom. But she finds out that there's one girl, there's text messages, there's videos, there's conversation, there's dating, there's meeting in odd hours, meeting in odd places. Oh, I'm going to the bank. He didn't go to the bank. He went to visit her. That one is worse and then she would leave ultimately. That's what she explained. Now, you guys, tell me if that jives with you, if you agree with that sentiment. However, what I think, especially when it comes to divorce, or leaving a relationship, is the big part of it is condoning. If you cannot condone it, exit, leave the relationship. So there are some things that happen in a relationship or in a marriage that you should not absolutely condone. One of which is sexual assault and abuse, physical, sexual, any type of abuse. You should not condone. Exit, quick, move on. All right, let's go. Let's finish the video. Oh, I want their promo to play so you guys can see.
Subscribe to the channel. We're trying to hit 50,000 subscribers in the first quarter of this year. Divorce should be normalized.
Divorce is not the problem. You have to come and prove to the court that these things happen before the court grants you a divorce. So if someone has gone through these circumstances in life and has decided they are no longer willing to go through those circumstances, why should the society force or stigmatize them for making that choice? I feel that is hypocritical because there's something they say, it's the person that wears the shoe that knows where it is.
But, yes.
I don't think the society should stigmatize people who are divorced.
Because they have not been in that shoe that you are. When I first separated from my husband, we started with separation. We separated for about seven times before I found out that if care is not taken, one person head will enter 6 feet. So it is better for us to stay alive, to watch our children grow, train our children, nurture them in the will of the Lord. So many people said a lot of things. Church came in, villagers came in, family came in. You can imagine the trauma.
Something.
All right, so I wanted to address this one real quick because, she said church came in, family came in, where some people came in, right? Villagers came in, family and villagers and elders and whatever came into the picture to try to mediate and prevent them from getting divorced. But they still did divorce. I think she said she's been divorced about 11 years or 12 years, of which 3 of those years, or maybe additional 3 years of 7 years of being separated from the man. Maybe she's been divorced for a total of 4 years, but 7 years of separation. Anyways, whatever it is. But one key thing here is that I feel like when people, I personally think that when there's a situation of divorce, right, for logical thinking or logical evaluation of the situation, I think other parties need to be involved. So mediators, therapists. I don't think family should be involved. Personally, I think there's going to be a bias. It's just what it is. Actually, anyone that will have a bias, should not be involved in the mediation of the relationship, right? Whether to divorce or not to divorce. The reason why I say that is but I think it's important that they should be part of the conversation before divorce happens. And the reason why I say that is, when you're hurting, all you see is red, and you might take some steps that in the moment seem right, but in the long run it doesn't. So I'm not saying that you must stay with your boyfriend or your husband or whatever, but having a mediator, a third party that has no skin in the game, no bias to either one of you, come into the conversation with proper attentive skills and delivery of thoughts. So they listen and they deliver thoughts clearly to you. This is what I'm thinking based on what you've told me. This is what I'm thinking. What do you think? What do you think? I need you guys to go home with some key notes. If, do you guys want to keep this relationship based on XYZ, XYZ? Like, oh, auntie, this seems like something you cannot condone. Or God, do you understand that she cannot condone this? Like listening attentively and delivering thoughts clearly. I think that's important before a divorce. I don't think you should just shut down a relationship or shut down a marriage or whatever. Just immediately take some steps. Now, if after that you're unable to proceed, go ahead and divorce. But the challenge we'll have that we see is that all these people will come, church will come, your pastor will come. And especially some crooked pastors that are thinking about the tithes that you will pay, or the stigma it will look like on their church. They have divorcees in their church. There are a lot of them are just at church every 5 years. They will marry somebody and boom, they will divorce. There's some churches that will even tell you that you can't divorce. You can't, once you marry my church, that's it, you're not divorcing. They will tell you that face to your face. As some, family members, I'll tell you, even your own mother or your own family will tell you that as you're entering, that's it. My mom, they will cite examples of their great grandparents who didn't have choices. Anyways, will say, my mother did not divorce my dad, my dad. And he did not, she was there suffering, and she stayed there because of our kids. In fact, that's the biggest lie. Staying there for the kids. That's one is the biggest lie on this planet Earth. Because here's the thing: those kids are individuals. They will grow up as individuals. They're not going to grow up tethered to either one of you, either parent. Yes, it's messed up that they are going to go through a traumatic experience because of the divorce, but they will grow up and they will make their own decisions. They would, especially if the both parents can offer clear reasons why it has to happen the way it happens, right? Rather than dodging it or not saying anything. Those kids will grow. So staying for the kids, or that's the biggest lie. But if the family or church or whatever gets involved, I would pray that they come in without any biases, without any doctrine or any type of whatever, but with logic, clear understanding of the situation, listening attentively, and delivering what they think, and moving on, mediating. All right, cool. Let's continue.
That I find really unfortunate is that the stigma doesn't even stay with the man, it's the woman.
There we go.
The man is most likely free to just continue his life like it never happened. It's the woman, and I understand because obviously she has children and those children are attached to her. But at the same time, I think the society should be able to see through what that woman has gone through, and rather than stigmatize her for her decision, have empathy for the situation she has found herself in.
Let me quickly ask a question. I'm sorry, I'll play the video. How many of you would marry or would date a divorcee, a woman? So for the guys watching, men, just for the guys, actually for both of you, men and women, those of you watching, or you're going to watch later, would you, if you find out that someone that you're about to date or you're interested in is a divorcee, has divorced their, spouse before, in recent years, are you okay with dating them, knowing that there's possibility that person still has connection with the other person, maybe because of kids, right? Or they don't have as much assets as they had because the other person took half of it. Or when somebody is divorced like this, is a stigma you're not ready to follow. You're not even as a man that she's a divorcee. No, I can't marry her. Or as a woman, you hear that the guy is a divorcee. There must be something he did that made the woman leave him. Let me know your thoughts. I'm going to play and I'm going to shut up right now.
Marriage is a contract. At least under the law, it's a contract. Under religion, it's an oath or a vow. Like every other contract you can decide to pull out, then you should be allowed to. I don't see how that is a problem to any other person.
I believe that if a couple goes into marriage knowing that divorce is an option, nobody will want to spoil the marriage knowing that divorce can happen. That's basically it for me.
It's not a big deal. If you try to make it work, it does not work. Oh girl or boy, put the paper down, sign them, rest your head. Marriage is not by force.
Candidate Sagrias now speak.
Where did we get lost in society to think it should be normalized? You made vows on that wedding day. You made vows. Now, if anybody can divorce willy-nilly, what is the point? Children are the beginning of empires. Now, if you're going to be shaping them and giving them the example that vows are just protocol, till death do us part is just protocol, I wonder what kind of parent you are. Okay, let me ask you a question. If you got cheated on, right, and your wife divorces you, right, are you going to be comfortable with the fact that she just did it because she knows she can divorce you anytime?
Why did I cheat in the first place?
She cheated on you. Yes. Are you going to be comfortable with the fact that she just did it because she knew that she could divorce you anytime?
She can't do that.
Are you gonna really have
she
that?
She can't do that, actually. Yeah, legally, you can't cheat and then bring a case to court to say, I want to divorce because I cheated.
Can I ask you a question?
That is ridiculous.
You got married to a woman that is stronger than you.
Okay. No, go ahead.
Every little thing, she threatens you. that she's going to bully you, she's going to bully. Every time she bully you, your father comes in, the church comes in, the uncles come in, she still remains. Will you still go ahead to marry that woman?
There's something in dating, right?
Would you
and
still
age
go ahead and
that
marry
relates
that
to each other.
woman?
When you're dating at the right
That's a very
age,
good-
you build emotional intelligence.
What's this guy talking
So when you know that a case is going to come like that, when you know there's a probability of that, right? You create contingency plans, right? Now that contingency plans might not be divorcing, but there are other methods.
It shouldn't be a normal thing.
What is this guy saying?
It shouldn't be a normal thing.
What's this guy saying? Contingency
Take a look
plans.
at our society currently, for example, how people are just diving into divorce with any little discomfort. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. People no longer want to manage, not even manage, like build. Now that people are saying we should not stigmatize, they should stigmatize them. Because if you don't stigmatize them, that is why they will feel very free.
Exactly
Your
my
husband
point.
just raised his voice at you a little bit, or the wife did not cook soup for you the way you like it, you just get a divorce. They should stigmatize them. People will say, oh, it's only the women who get stigmatized. No, people no longer want to go into relationships with single fathers anymore. They are being stigmatized, so it is good. They should continue stigmatizing them. Maybe that one will help them to think, okay, at least if I cannot fight for my marriage, what about the people that will be insulting me that I couldn't stay in marriage, or the people that will be saying, oh, I carry children for her, they know if he dates me.
You believe people are like just
Please,
jump.
who cares about that? I mean, I personally don't care. Stigmatized or not stigmatized. The worst that would happen is the pain of exiting a relationship. But stigmatized, who stigmatized? I don't get it. I'm stigmatized. So what I'm understanding here, from what I'm hearing here, is that divorce is already normalized. And the numbers might actually back that up, that divorce is normalized, especially in second and third marriages. That is usually, the statistics show that people that have been married before get into another relationship or marriage, they tend to divorce, because now they know better. There's a level of patience that they have. There's a threshold now. Before, if they could take nonsense, now that they've gone through the process of not taking nonsense and exiting, the next time they go into something and nonsense is showing up, they jack back quick, they divorce quick. That is another part where I think to myself that, that's why I keep on saying about, why don't you mediate first? Why don't you go through some type of logical mediation without emotion, somebody neutral, unbiased, before you divorce? But, especially if there are things you are struggling to condone. If there's things that you can absolutely not condone, just exit. Waka, it's okay. Move. But I don't know. I just feel like sometimes, when
Jumping into divorce, right?
They are. Look at the society.
Do you
Can't
also
see?
believe that people are also just jumping into marriages? Who's been married are married. Yeah, so those people that are
making our
married,
point for
should
us.
they be allowed to divorce or not?
Marriage anyhow.
This is the reason why some churches will make you go through series of what they call
Counseling.
See, we are talking about like the whole world. You cannot just talk about like just churches
No,
here.
I'm telling you that if all churches, or if they can say, if you want to get married, go through the process of counseling, they can normalize that. Since you want to say they should throw marriage away.
Okay, see, that,
instead of
that
throwing
makes
marriage
wait,
away.
That actually makes more sense, because like if you want to divorce, you need to go
Yeah,
to,
but we are not talking
See,
about that right now. We are talking
it's
about
still
divorce.
the same thing.
We're not talking
Still the
about
same
that right now.
Divorce
We're
have like
talking
you have like a long list of things you need to go through before you can divorce. When you
Okay,
have been
let me just- let
abused or you falling out of love.
Some people just divorce because of
for the slightest reason,
trying to say is that,
especially
like, the divorce-
lately.
your soul be hammering on divorce with so much pleasure. I don't know. Maybe it's coming from a divorced home. Maybe he has lived with those who are from a divorced home, and he has seen one-hand experience of what it is all this beating and all that stuff.
I'm from a very stable family and I've not really seen or experienced divorce firsthand. But I've seen people that should have gotten divorced. So that is one of the main reasons why I'm here. I believe divorce should be normalized, not something that people have to go through lots of process just to get to.
You people think you can just walk into court and
Exactly what I'm saying. You
divorce.
can't just divorce like that.
That is not, you cannot even divorce within 2 years without the leave of court. And what that means is that you have to first ask the court, can I divorce? And there are grounds, rape, bestiality. Sometimes if you marry within bloodlines or if you marry within relatives, let's say you marry someone that was insane, someone that was not capable, there's very strict requirements.
But this is them
within 2
venturing,
years.
they are venturing divorce because they feel it's normal, because it's normalized. It's easy for them to bring a.
That's what I'm saying now. It's easy for them to bring it, but they still have to prove.
You can't just wake up and look at your wife, look at your husband that you love so much. You went to the altar and wear a ring, dance, do this. Said, you know they do again. That there is something that will make you to do that thing.
Right?
I would say it's not normal to divorce, and it's not also good to stay in abusive marriage. Before a man or a woman would do that, they are cutting to this place. I will not say divorce is good and it's sweet. It's not sweet, though. It's very bitter. Oh, I don't know how to put it. Look at it back and front before you do it, because it's not rice and beans and stay alive.
If you believe in love and the two of you actually really love each other, there is nothing you cannot work out.
It is not only abusive marriage that can make somebody divorce.
Yes.
It's not even on the top 3 or 5.
need to reach that
It's not even there. It's not even up there. 8th of January 2024. I think that's when it was released. It was a Forbes list. Domestic violence is there, but there are things way above. I'm not saying it's to discredit domestic violence. We have lack of commitment there, lack of education when your spouse is illiterate. We have substance abuse, so many other things, right? Domestic abuse was either 7th or 9th. So I was just thinking we could treat the other things instead of focusing on violence and all.
There are so many things. So many.
Mary.
Communication, lack of communication. It can cause divorce. Make a marriage stop.
That one is worse.
See, what I just have to say
It is so simple. It only has to do with dialogue.
So I wanted to ask, so they are making some interesting points here that, it does seem like people divorce for very flimsy reasons, quote and unquote. I think the best way I would say it is that if you can't condone it and you can't condone something anymore, yes, divorce the person, right? But then people can just say, well, I can't condone his bad breath anymore, so I want to divorce him. I mean, if that's what you think, yeah, sure. Or I've seen some videos where some girls be like, oh yeah, he's not making as much money as he used to before, so yeah, I'm out of here, But at the end of the day, what you can condone is relative. Is not. There's no way. The Bible tries to dictate what should lead to divorce. Try to almost dictate what you should condone, what you should not condone, that would allow you to divorce. So adultery is one of them. I think death is another one of them. I think I want to say domestic violence is one of them. I can't remember, but there's some things that the Bible kind of puts, in as instructions. That okay, if you're going to divorce somebody, it must be other than that. Everything else, you can't divorce the person. You find that out when you go to counseling. But these people do raise an important thing to also think about. That some people just go ahead and just do this divorce thing because they can. Because yes, it takes a long time, but they can do it. Okay. There is no effort. There is no effort as difficult and uncomfortable as the effort is. There is oftentimes now what we're seeing is that there is no effort in relationships now where people try to stay. They consider the pain, they consider the ache, and in that moment they exit because they can't condone it. But there's no effort, and I think you heard from the lawyer there. I think the court tries to force that on people. Have you guys to try to mediate this thing? Have you tried? I think the court puts that in place, that before you even come and say you want to divorce, go and see if you guys can mediate this amicably. If not, then yeah, we'll divorce you guys. But I feel like people just do it now, just get it done any which way possible. All right, let's continue.
If you're saying it, fast repeating, maybe you don't pass through the one and fast.
That's not true.
No, but I just want to tell you the truth.
She said she don't go for
Marriage is till death do us part.
Of course, marriage is till death do us part. I mean, for example, you were wedded in church, definitely the officiator would ask those questions and tell you till death do us part, and you say, yes, I do. So
when you're already in the process of dating and all, fiance or fiance, whatever, you're already thinking consciously and subconsciously in your mind, this is going to be, I mean, that's what I would think. This is going to be it. It's death or nothing else. So it's just, I think it's intrinsically obvious.
Growing up, we were told that marriage is till death do us part. So I strongly believe in that. And my parents never divorced.
So this woman keeps talking about what she was told. But Mama, what do you think? Stop relying on what you were told, the doctrines that you were told. You have a mind of your own. What do you think? Do you think marriage is to death to do us part? I don't think that. I think there's some things if you cannot condone, and there's some really, really crazy things that if you cannot condone, that you should absolutely divorce. I think there should be a mediation, absolutely. But I don't think it's till death do us part. Oh, hell no. No? No. I know someone that threatened to divorce his wife. That threatened to divorce his wife if she got bigger. Like if she added weight. Yes. Threatened to divorce his wife. I mean, that's crazy. But for him, he can't condone that. And his excuse was, if she gets bigger, she becomes, it's kind of like a series of things. She gets bigger, she becomes unattractive. If she becomes unattractive, he steps out of the marriage, and he doesn't want to do that. He doesn't want to step out of the marriage without remorse, right? Step out of the marriage, go find another woman without remorse. So instead of that happening, he will just divorce and exit. I felt like that was crazy, but that's for him. But then that is him thinking, not that he was told. Okay.
All the people around me never did that, so marriage is till death do us part.
Can the disagreeers speak now?
Already the Bible said that it hates divorce. And also the Bible said that marriage is dead do us part. But when I was growing up, I found out that 2 of my friends died inside marriage. I married at the age of 19. My husband started hitting me when my child was 4 days old. I move along with it so that the both sides will not hear. My parents should not hear. My auntie should not hear. But I almost lost my life inside that marriage. I tried to make it work. It could not work. I seek for divorce. They said, don't go. It's okay. I know what to do. When the thing was up here, because after 4 times of entering coma, 3 days. The first one took 4 days. I almost gone. Why?
She was in coma she said she was in they said it, but I didn't realize. She's been in coma. Because of her husband beating her, she had been in coma 3 times, 3 separate times, of which one time she was in coma for 3 days. The other time she was in coma for 4 days. It's kind of beating, are they beating you, madam?
Waiting until you die. I will make an example with, I'm not mocking her, our singer, Ozinachi. I want to make it work. She ended up dying. So why dying inside the marriage? Go for divorce. Let people say what they want to say. Save your head so that you can fight for your children when they need you.
All of you guys here is saying you think, you believe, but like, that's not a strong enough reason to stay in a marriage. I don't think marriage should be a life sentence. Just as I decided to get married, I can also decide to leave the marriage. It should not be by force.
There are several instances that can come during the term of the marriage that warrants that marriage to end. I think she has mentioned one, which is pro-life. Life is the most important thing that we hold dear. You have the law at your side, and you also have religion at your side. Even in the Bible, there's a part where it says you can get divorced on certain grounds.
She said she married at the age of 19, if I'm correct. I would just like to say that I think, not with you, ma'am, but I think generally with the data that has been presented, generally, that is the leading cause of divorce. I sympathize with people who get abused. I'm not saying it's right.
It doesn't happen every day.
I'm not saying it's right. Thank you, but based on the large number of divorces, it's minimal. If you check
It's
the
not even
data,
up to 40%.
thank you. If you check the data, 11 cases
Can you
of divorce.
reference the data?
Let him, let
It's
him,
from Forbes.
no, let him
the
talk.
top 11 causes of divorce, right? Domestic abuse is on the 7th level. Do you know what's on the first? Lack of commitment, right? Domestic abuse is a bad thing, fine, right? But we can't use that excuse as a cure-all degeneracy.
You said Forbes. Where was the data sample taken from? Is it Nigeria or the whole world?
It's the whole world.
But if you look at the data in Nigeria, it's definitely not going to be the same in the US or in America.
No, but this is all
or in
over the
UK.
world. Divorce is
I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying in terms of what you mean by, you have to make a commitment. If you listen to what I was saying it's a commitment you make every day. I totally agree. What I did say was there are circumstances that come into play during that commitment that gives you an out. Marriage is the union between two people. That's what marriage is. It's not a marriage one person. So when the other person is doing certain things that are in some way going to affect your life in a negative way.
Okay, sir, but as human beings, right, we should always think with something at the back of our mind, right? This decision that I'm making, there's a probability it's gonna go wrong, but am I gonna stick to my responsibility? Am I gonna stick with my kids? Responsibility comes first.
She said she got married at the age of 19, so I still want to go with that. Teenagers are not meant to get married. On a more sincere note, if we tell ourselves the truth.
Madam, you said teenagers should not get married, but guess what? The same mothers that you've been saying taught you this, taught you that, those are the ones that force their kids to get married. In fact, they give their daughters out to get married to this men. In fact, before the child is even of age, she's already betrothed to one old man. So and then they'll now tell that child, don't divorce the man. Die there. Come on.
Because they've not known anything. They are supposed to concentrate on their education. Before you get married, you need to have a good and wide knowledge about marriage. Number 2, instead of divorce, I prefer separation. You see, separation is not divorce.
Okay.
I'm a Catholic, with one Catholic. Stop to tell you, Madam, Oga, go and stay separately for a while. And then start attending counseling. Now, that period where we are doing that, it's a period, it's a time for them to have a routine. What is actually the issue? What is it that I am not doing well? I have passed through it. And I have come out from it boldly to now say that divorce is not the best. Someone else who also passed through the same stuff called me one day and told me, Madam, don't make a mistake to leave your home. Go on your separate ways for a period of time, even if it is 2 years. Even if it is 3 years, just go on your separate ways. You will still communicate with your husband. Your husband will communicate with the children. Things like that. That's the period you will now know whether you truly love that man, whether that man truly loves you. Forget about love. Is there a little sacrifice, just little sacrifice I can do For the sake of keeping your marriage, think about it. That same period that you are away.
He said you can go for like 2-3 years separation, which I have seen, I have done. Yet, instead of the person to change, he was adding more fire. I'm very sorry to say this. I'm a woman. When you love a man, don't show it to his face. He was rubbish
I
in
don't
that love
support
on
that.
the floor, on the ground.
I don't support that.
Please.
Sister, he was thinking that I cannot cope 2 months out of his roof. But as the Lord will have it, this is me here, 11 years. I'm still working stronger.
Do you know, I want to tell you something. It is
Sister,
simply
I'm
because
coming.
you got married
I'm
at
coming.
a very
Excuse
wrong
me.
age.
Excuse me. Sister, excuse me.
Let me just address
because
the age
I
issue.
managed this marriage. I did not just leave when the marriage
I'm
was
very
2 years.
confused. What makes you think divorce would have
Please, can
solved that?
someone listen to me?
We are listening, my love. We are
but we
listening.
need
I did not
to
just
correct
leave.
you on some things.
I did not
because-
just leave when the marriage was 2 years or 3 years. This was a marriage of 25 good years that I tried to push so that I can walk.
Because
Instead,
you were married at a young age. So at that time, you were already getting mature. So you were seeing the things that you now like, and then you are having friends that will tell you, oh, your husband shouldn't be doing this
nobody.
to you. And you
nobody,
were
I didn't
talking
take any,
back
if,
at that time.
If
You were
I should
mature
take
enough to
anybody
talk back.
advice, I would leave the marriage
One
when the
thing-
marriage
one
was
thing I want
starting.
to
Ma'am, I'm
ask
sorry. Do you
is-
know
1
that
year.
inside
Please.
or outside of the marriage, that man, if he was properly motivated, he could have still hurt you. So the problem is not the marriage. Day
What?
by day, right, we have stalkers. Now, the stalkers, right, men that stalk women and women that stalk men. I'm not invalidating your experience, right? I don't stand for abuse. Let's get that straight, right? But I'm saying, at the end of the day, people die every day. Divorce is not going to solve that. Even if they divorce, it's not the full thing. I don't know. There are many probabilities, many variables in this world, but you never know if divorce was going to solve that in the first place.
Are they trivializing what this woman is explaining? Like, this woman is telling you she married young. She stayed in the marriage for 25 years, of which from day one, she said from when her child was 4 days old, she was getting beaten by this man. Stayed in that marriage for 25 years. Boost bass, separated from the man, not divorced, for 7 years. Separated from the man for 7 years. And then divorced him, and then she's been divorced out of his life for 11 years. And they are saying, is divorce does it solve anything? Like, clearly it does solve something. She's alive. She was in coma for three times. Each time at least 3 days in coma. And you are telling me you would advise such a person to not divorce her abuser? Someone that has probably been abusing her for at least 24 years of her life with that person, love or no love. What are you mad? What kind of foolish rationalization is this? She is a survivor of an abusive marriage, and telling you that going through what she's gone through, get a divorce if you can, when you cannot condone what you're going through. And there's some things that you should absolutely not condone, which will include sexual abuse, physical abuse, all of the above. So, I mean, I'm very confused that they are having this. Are they hearing what she's saying at all?
She could have died. He could have killed her, divorce or not divorce.
I have a question. If I have a lot of things to say, let's say, for instance, now you and your husband separate, yeah? 2 years after, you find yourself doing better, communicating with your children, your relationship with your children is way better, financially you're okay, you're stable, mentally you're all right. Are you going to go back to the man?
I will still go back to my husband. Let me tell you why.
She wants to explain to you.
Let me tell you why. You see, this is a man I married
for
with
coming.
so much love.
Those of you on YouTube, come. Thank you. Welcome. Share your thoughts. Let me see your comments in the comment section. Let me know what you think. I'm hearing some things here. I've watched this video before, and I'm hearing some things here. It's quite shocking. But let's proceed. Let's go on. Almost done.
And I got married at the age of 30 years. And then I have known what love is. Then I understand the difference between love and infatuation. Now, this is a man that I know how he treats me. This is a man that I know that oh, yes, he hits me, but yet he loves me. He brings out his heart to show me that love, really. I'm telling you the sincere truth. This
Wait. Let me process that. She said she's known this man, he loves her, but he beats her. And she still loves him. No be juju be that. No, I'm trying to process it because I'm trying to understand where she's coming from here without my biases. I have biases. If someone is beating you, leave that. Nobody should be beating you. You're an adult. Nobody should be beating you. I mean, I'm sorry. But she just said, even though he let me go back because I don't think I heard that right. Let me go back.
I got married at the age of 30 years. And then I have known what love is. Then I understand the difference between love and infatuation.
Okay.
Now, this is a man that I know how he treats me. This is a man that I know that, oh, yes, he hits me, but yet he loves me. He brings out his heart to show me that love, really. I'm telling you the sincere truth. It's not about the fact that, oh, we are here and camera is on us. No. He showers me with so much love. But then,
he hits you.
I would definitely go back.
Divorce affects the children negatively.
I agree with the fact that it affects children negatively, but I would also like to state that divorce in itself is not tailored to affect children. Let me just put it that way. When you're going through a divorce, one of the most important things the court considers is the custody, guardianship, welfare, advancement, and education of the children. Anything else, as far as those children are concerned, the court puts it aside and focuses on those children to ensure that they come out better.
I want to talk about the mental aspect of, divorce affecting the children. There is no marriage without fights. It is a bitter truth. Let us not deceive ourselves. Even in a family, you see brothers, sisters fighting themselves, talk less of people who come from different homes. So I'm now going back to the children. The children will say all these things. They will expect that, oh, daddy, why are you doing this now? Mommy, calm down. Mommy, go and beg daddy. Daddy, calm down. Daddy, go and beg. It has happened to me. Now, whereby the children now see, oh, mommy is going a separate way, daddy is going a separate way. The children don't always they are not always happy. They are not always. 99% of such children are not always happy.
I think she's exaggerating.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I'm trying to say in this essence is this. Children from broken home, those ones that are just growing up, not the ones that have come into the world now that are so big that their ears are filled with divorce. I'm talking of children that are just growing. Talk to them. If you talk to these children, they will tell, oh, I don't like the way mommy and daddy are living separately. They will tell you the truth from their hearts. They will go to school. Other children, sometimes they don't even want to play with them. They say, this one, daddy and mommy are not together. Or what will she come and tell us now?
I'll use my child as an example. I married early. I'm married at 26. I'm currently 29. I've been 3 years in marriage now.
Wow.
Yes. So within that 3 years, myself and my wife have separated countless times and we've come back together. So those times when we separate, so when I go there for settlement, when I see my child, I don't feel happy. Like, I feel like he would have been living better if he was with me, but he has no choice. That is where he could stay at that time. Like, one person just decides to, anyhow they want to dress them or any school they want to take them to. I agree that the court has a say with custody, or how do they call it? But sometimes the court might be wrong. They might give the child to the wrong person. 90% of divorce affects the children more.
You guys are just throwing numbers out now.
Nigerians will overexaggerate when we want to give percentage.
I can't understand where you're coming from.
I think you get the point.
But
See,
What I'm
just the
saying
same
is-
way divorce affects children, yeah. There are children from like families that their parents are still together that are affected by that kind of marriage. Like their children are begging their parents to go to divorce. These are things that I've seen firsthand. You cannot just throw away
people are
experiences like
bad
that.
parents, that's on them.
Can the disagreeer now speak?
It depends how tender the children are. But if the children are grown-ups and they'll be seeing the beating, the fighting, the separation all the time, so many things are not working well, then they finally divorce themselves. It will not affect those children at all. Because they have been seeing like one person's life is going to go if these two are not staying apart.
I mean, what you are saying, yeah, I understand what you're saying. The children will understand that like the divorce is right, it was needed and all that, but I don't think that's enough reason for them not to feel it. I don't think that's enough reason for them not to get affected by it.
The children suffer a huge blow when it comes to divorce. They have a stigma. Wherever they go, they call them children from broken homes. And people see them as
themselves.
children who cannot,
to anything.
yes, they are bound to like influence others negatively.
Stop. That's a lie. That's a lie. If that was true, most people in a lot of people. Let me calm down because she was about to piss me off. A lot of people in our generation have been damaged because their parents did not divorce. They saw the abuse firsthand while the two parents were together, and they saw that one had, of course, there's always there's an abuser, there's an abusee, right? And they saw that the only way out. They saw it as they were growing up. They saw that the only way out for this person for this some type of separation or exit. But there was this thing that they cannot explain as kids that made that person stay. So the child perpetually sees, in the case of, let's use the woman that disagrees with, that agrees that divorce should be normalized. She was beaten, right? They keep on seeing that the father beats the mother every day or every other day or every week, but they see it for 25 years. Do you think that is not enough damage in comparison to when the woman now exited the marriage? Do you think that the effects, negative or not, of her exiting the relationship, exiting the marriage, was more severe than the experience they had watching their dad beat their mom to coma? I might add, because of, or the child or maybe like in the situation of where the man stabbed his wife to death because she did not make his beans soft for him to eat. Which one do you think would have a more adverse effect? Stigma or no stigma? Constantly see someone that they claim that this other person claims to love, or they both claim to love each other, and then this one is doing to this one crazy things, abusive things, crazy things in the household, or the parent that exited. Which one do you think has more adverse effect? Please, Biko. I think it's a very it's a very sad mindset, especially when you want to use kids as a crux for bad behavior. It's a very bad mindset to say divorce affects the child negatively. Yes, so also does the actions that caused the divorce in the first place. It's not the divorce that that caused that is negatively affecting the child. It's the experiences that the child has had in the house, living with parents that are acting wild or crazy to each other. The lack of love, the lack of commitment, the lack of this, the emotional abuse, the physical abuse, all of that is what is affecting the child, not the divorce. So especially, and divorce in some cases, especially in the African homes or in the cases that we've seen or the ones that have been discussed in this video, divorce didn't just happen. Some crazy things had happened before the person now said, okay, I'm divorcing you. That child is already damaged negatively already. That child is gone, is negatively affected. So don't blame divorce now and say the child is affected negatively because the family divorce. Don't do that. That's a lie. That's completely a lie. I'm going to finish the video now.
Because they think they don't have home training of any sort.
I have a question. First of all, I don't know where this myth came from, but people are always talking about like the effect of divorce on children, but nobody ever talks about the effects of like children seeing their parents harm each other. It does not necessarily even need to be as extreme as harming. It can be things like the parents setting unhealthy relationship ideas for the children and all that.
People change after marriage.
Yes.
You have your own personality, but actions you make and reactions that come about, those actions form human beings.
We'll just be pretending. Honey, darling, sweetheart, baby, they will call you all sweet name. That same man, that same woman will enter your house, turn things around. Even me, I was so angelic. But when you get to a point, oh boy, I removed that angelic cloth. And one said, I wear that black clothes because I cannot come and die. And my children I will not be able to help them. It's either you're changing for good or you're changing for bad.
But you see, when it comes to the bad one, someone can be good and come into a marriage and meet a fire for fire mother-in-law. The person will change you.
You would definitely have to change some attitudes that you probably used to do before, but in marriage is no longer something that is feasible for the union. So those are like the everyday, maybe you wake up 10 before, but your husband goes to work early and you want to prepare something for him. Or maybe your husband comes back after work, he goes to drink with his friends. Now he's thinking, now I have a wife at home, I have to come back home early. It boils down to even financial sacrifices where you start to see the nature of your spending changing. How you used to spend as a bachelor is different from how you probably spend as a married man.
I believe change is constant in human beings. It's normal. Everyone changes. I don't think you even need to add it to marriage. With or without marriage, people are going to change definitely.
Okay, that was it. That was very good, fantastic as always. That's the video. They have a couple of videos on their channel. Let me respond to that last question. I don't think it's about people change, period. People evolve constantly, and my biggest the way, and this is something I always have to tell myself often, is that with new information, with new experiences, people change, right? It's like like the continent, they say like the continents were all one together, and over time, because of there was a split and they all moved apart, and right now they're even saying that we've shifted again. The continents have shifted a little bit, further apart or even to the left, whatever. With new information, with new experiences, people change. Marriage or not marriage, people change. I think the important thing is feeding yourself or making sure you avail yourself of experiences that would positively affect your mindset, because you will change. You're not physically, emotionally, spiritually, sexually, all of the above, all the illies. You will change as a human being because you get new information, you experience new things, your brain processes, you make decisions, repeat, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. You start seeing your traits start changing, and that's why it's very key that we especially doing marriage counseling or doing relationship therapy or whatever, you guys discuss as is, right? Not as you want it to be. right? Discuss as is. And I learned that from a therapist. Discuss as is, not that, oh, this is what I thought he would be, or this is what I want him to be, or no, discuss as is. What is going on now? Because this person is going to change later, and you are also going to change later. But right now, with the information you have and with the expenses you're going through, what's up, right? So this was fantastic. This was a very good video. I thoroughly enjoyed myself watching this one the first time, and you guys saw like I said at the beginning of this video, of this rant, the kind of mindset around this divorce thing is quite unique. You would have thought that, not always, but you would have thought that people that get abused, like the other woman, not the one that was in coma, the woman that said that, I know that my husband loves me, yet even though he beats me, or she said it the other way around. She said that, even though anyway, she said that her husband beats her, and but he also showers her with love, but he beats her. So she is obviously going to die there, for whatever reason. It could be, and she kept on referencing, oh, what we were told when we're younger, when we're growing up, we're told what we're told, what we're told. And it just makes me feel like, sometimes people don't think for themselves anymore. They rely on religion, rely on doctrines, on tradition, on society in general, to dictate how they should do or not do, and that's a very dangerous space. If I feel like if I ask 10 people in Nigeria right now, given that this video came from Nigeria, if I ask 10 people from Nigeria, if they would divorce their spouse, if there is some type of sexual or physical abuse, I want to imagine that half of them will say they won't, and half of them will say they will. Actually, I want to say that 70% of them will say they won't. Okay, maybe not in this. I feel like people are getting woke now. Okay, maybe 50%. And some of them will reference religion. Some of them will reference family upbringings and doctrines and whatever. And in my opinion, I feel like if you were to take away those things, religion, whatever, you should be able to answer that question with your own thoughts by yourself, right? Take out religion, take out what this says, just evaluate the question. Sexual abuse in the family or physical abuse, would you exit the relationship or the marriage? Yes or no? Just based on that. Just go with that. And then now you'll get your answer. Go for mediation. Get a counselor involved. Therapy, have that conversation. And then when you realize that even with this, I can still condone it, exit. It's not don't die there. Exit. Although I feel like people should not just divorce. I think there should be some type of work that is done to either try to mediate, or try to save or salvage or whatever the relationship, if the acts can be condoned. Now, I said at the beginning that I don't think cheating is it should be a like, or even adultery, it should be like, punished, get like exited out of a relationship is too severe of a punishment for like cheating or adultery. And I trust me, I know that this is very unpopular with a lot of people. Point I'm trying to make there is this. You see, the cheating or the adultery stuff is lack of discipline. It's not the person doesn't love you. However, if you as a person cannot condone it, and you've gone through therapy with the person, you try to remediate, try to figure out, okay, if this is something that, okay, the person can change and whatever, and you realize that no, exit, absolutely. Yes, then yes, because your happiness is your responsibility, not the other person's responsibility. And just because they love you and they were in discipline doesn't mean you have to accept the indiscipline. especially if there's not a change. But if you can, and you can see the benefits of staying, then let your decision to stay in the relationship be based on that, and not be based on doctrines, or somebody said this or somebody said that, or my family, or one church. It should be based on your thoughts, 100%. Period. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining in. I'm Boladeola Ojo. Before I go, I'm going to just share my page one more time. So this is my YouTube page. Guys, please come check it out. It's Boladeola Ojo, BOLA OJOO. I'm not even sharing. I thought I was sharing. Let me actually share it. All right, so this is my page. It's my YouTube page. Please come check it out. Boladeola Ojo right there. See, I'm an MC, talk show host, and vlogger. I have some very awesome videos that you will really, really enjoy. See, all the lives are here. Last time we did the pop the balloon. The other time we did the power dynamics is relationship on unrealistic expectations and more. This video of the girl that was looking for love, 22-year-old girl, dated at the time when she dated this person, she was 20. She dated an 82-year-old man, age as she was 20 years old. She's between 18 and 22. This video, actually, this one, you guys need to watch this one. Let me put it on screen just so you can see. See if it's gonna come up. This girl, between the ages of 18 and 22, she has been married, divorced, being a sugar baby, gone to the military, and now she's looking for love. Wild. Like, wild. Completely wild. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate you joining me tonight. I'll see you next week if I can. I have some events coming up already, but if I can, next week I would do this video again. I want to watch more of those cruise debates. So let's do it. Let's do it. I'm excited to review another video, do another reaction video for you guys. So I'll see you next time. Make sure you subscribe, like the video if you like the video, and absolutely share your thoughts in the comment section. Thank you guys. Have a good night. Boladeola Ojo. Peace out.